Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back for another review video for DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Season 1, Episode 12, entitled Last Refuge. So, big episode, guys. This was such a huge episode. At times, I felt a little overwhelmed about how much stuff was going on. And we got our team going through time. We got our team going into the past. We got the Pilgrim trying to kill all our team's younger selves. And our team going into the past to get their younger selves is just wow. I mean, there was some weird stuff going on. And then later on, then the Pilgrim targets loved ones that our team cares about. We got Jack's father, we got Dr. Stein's wife, Palmer's ex-fiance, got Sarah's dad, Detective Lance. I mean, there's just some amazing stuff happening. This was a great episode. I really liked it. But some of the positives that I really liked was the actress that played the Pilgrim. First off, she was great. I actually really liked her. Her name is Faye Kinsley. She hasn't really done anything. I mean, she's done some voiceover work and then done some small other roles here and there. I think she did a fantastic job as the Pilgrim. And I was a little upset, though, that she was kind of one and done like the Hunters were last week. They basically come in and then get killed. They went out really quick, but at least the Pilgrim was around like the whole episode, at least. I mean, it's sad. I was really hoping that they would play her out for a few more episodes, but I guess it's going to be kind of hard to do since she was actually going throughout time trying to kill all the younger selves and all the relatives and everything. So it would have made it hard to keep going with that. But I think she was a great character, though. So it's sad though that she's done. That's pretty sad. But she was great. I mean, I really liked her performance as the Pilgrim. All the kids in this episode were fantastic. All the young Mick Rory, the baby Snart. I mean, we we got Captain Cold as a baby. The only thing that was kind of weird is that we got Palmer as an older adult. She didn't target him as a child. It would have been kind of cool if they would have seen like a child, or if she would have attacked him as a child. I think that would have kind of been kind of cool. But we got the younger self of Sarah, pre-Arrow season 1. It was kind of weird for me because she couldn't put two and two together that was her other self. She's like, "Oh, well, why do you look like me?" It's just like, really? You're that stupid? You're that stupid that you don't realize that that's you? I don't know. I think the highlight though for me of all the younger kids was actually seeing the younger Rip Hunter. I think he was spot on, that kid, and he was actually the one that turned the tide at the end. I mean, stabbing the Pilgrim, and he was actually took out the Pilgrim. And it was very cool. All the children were really well done. I really liked seeing Paul Blackthorne back as Detective Lance. I mean, he's got the full head of hair. I mean, it was kind of weird seeing him have the full head of hair, and seeing him talking to Sarah was great. I mean, I liked having him there. Another positive for me was seeing all the history, some history about Rip Hunter. I thought that was quite fascinating. Finding out his first name was Michael was really cool. And that he was an orphan and he belonged to like this orphanage or whatever, and his like stepmother was there. Was really well done. She kind of reminded me of Mary Poppins a little bit. I mean, so I was just like, wow, what is happening? I mean, all this information that's just flooding in. It was a lot to take in this episode, but she was really well done as well. The actress that played the stepmother to Rip Hunter, she was really well done. Another positive for me was the fight scene at the end where the Pilgrim froze all the heroes, and then you see that 360 shot. Great shot. I mean, there was a lot of scenes in this that were actually quite expensive. I mean, her stopping them in mid battle or whatever, with the flames or whatever, with like Firestorm, when they were trying to help Palmer, and then she gets shot out the window. I mean, there was a lot of expensive stuff going on here. We have a house that's on fire earlier on, so a lot of expense that was going into this episode. You could really see it. I think they did a fantastic job on the CG as well. So there were a few negatives, though. Unfortunately, there was just a few, not too many. First off, though, for me, a negative was the Ray and Kendra love stuff going on in this episode. It seemed to me like it took me out of what was going on in the episode. That, oh, you have all this great stuff that's happening with the Pilgrim, and then they're in peril, and their younger selves are getting taken away, and it's just like, anyone can die at any time, and it's just like, oh, well, we got to stop, and we got to have Ray and Kendra, and her still having a hard time with who she loves. Does she love Ray? Does she love Carter? And this conflict that's going on. It's just like, okay. I mean, we've had this the last few episodes. I don't know where they're going with this. I mean, I really would like him to get to a point. I mean, is Carter even coming back? I mean, are we even going to see him? I mean, there's only like 4 more episodes or something this season. So I would think that he would come back sooner or later here before the end of it. And what is that going to do, though? Now that basically Kendra was kind of, I don't want to say forced, but she was kind of coerced into accepting the proposal. She felt sorry for Ray; he was about to die, and then she was moldering over, does she really want to get married or not? And in the end, she accepted that, yeah, that's what she wants to do. So, I mean, what is that going to do now to this whole destiny thing with Carter? And is there going to be like this huge fight at the end? I mean, I don't know what that's going to do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that Carter comes back, and then maybe she's going to have some other conflicts, and then she breaks off the engagement, and then finally goes with Carter, and then what's that going to do to Ray? I mean, is one of them going to die in the end? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that's up in the air. But the whole thing was kind of a negative though for me, because it did take me out of the whole episode, and you know, and I'm just getting a little tired of her. Oh, I love Ray. No, I love Carter. No, I love Ray. It's just like, ugh, come on, get to the point. So I mean, and it was also kind of weird though, because then in the end, he actually goes and saves his ex fiance that was killed, and brings her onto the ship, and she's inside their quarter chambers, their sleeping chambers. So I was like, wow, that is incredibly awkward. Him seeing his old ex fiance that he was going to marry, and she was killed. I mean, wow. I mean, I don't know. It just seemed really weird to me. Another slight negative, I mean, it was just kind of another weird moment for me, was that all the time traveling and stuff, and everyone getting picked up, all their younger selves, and stuff that was happening with the Pilgrim and what was going on. It was a little convoluted at times, and some of the actual story, what was going on, and it was a little hard to follow, a little bit, not too much, but that was a little bit of a nitpick for me. It was kind of hard to keep track of what the heck was going on with the Pilgrim. I mean, where is she now? I mean, how is she going throughout time? It was just like, wow. I mean, what the heck is happening? But yeah, just a small nitpick though. Another negative was Jax having a heartfelt moment, though. I will give you that. I mean, he had some nice character development with his father, and it was some great moments with Jax and his father, but it became a negative to me in the end. He actually, I think, revealed too much to him. It's just like, well, wait a minute. I mean, you became the Jax that we know that became Firestorm because you didn't have your father, and you were down and out, and you were a mechanic, and it all hinges around that. But now you've went ahead and you've told him what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and what kind of consequences is that going to have now for the timeline. I really hope that they actually elaborate on that, and there's actually some consequences leading up here to the end, or whatever, because you got to believe that I mean, it's all about time, and the time rifts and messing up the timeline. I mean, Rip Hunter's always saying that. And then he's like, well, maybe time wants you and your father to be together. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's like messing with the timeline. I mean, that's so weird to me. So that was a negative. I'm like, they better elaborate more on this Jackson, his father type thing. I mean, what is that going to do now to Firestorm? I mean, maybe he won't be Firestorm anymore after that, because if his father's around, he won't be the man that we knew, when he was on the Flash and leading up to Legends of Tomorrow. So, yeah, so that was a big negative there for me. Also, there was another negative that I didn't pick up that I actually found out later, is that the actual badge on Jax's father's uniform is not an American badge. It's actually a Canadian badge, a ranking badge. And that was a huge mix up, that they actually gave him a Canadian badge and it should be an American badge. So, I mean, I was surprised by that. That was something I found out later, that they actually screwed up big time on that. So, Some weird things going on in this episode, though. But hey, this was a pretty big episode, a pretty big undertaking with a lot of moving parts and a lot of kids and a lot of things going throughout time. Big story, but overall, I really, really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was great. Even though we had some of those weird negatives and some weird stuff going on there throughout time. That's what happens when you have to deal with time travel and all this convoluted stuff. It can be quite hard to understand and hard to get together, and especially to put in to like on film or on like an episode or a show like this. It's hard to deal with. But hey guys, there was a lot of stuff I know I missed. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode, what you really liked about this episode, and what you didn't like about this episode. Please write in the comments below. But that will do it for me for this week. I will see you next week. Until then, take it easy.